Global industrial supremacy requires decades of continuous effort. Nations like China execute 20-year strategic plans without interruption. Meanwhile, the European political cycle resets every 4 years. Within that window, only the first half is productive. By year 3, campaign politics freeze long-term decisions. Europe effectively operates on just 2 years of usable time. You cannot secure international supply chains or build a thriving industrial base when your foundational blueprint is thrown out every time a new government takes office. This constant tearing down and rebuilding forces European industries to operate in permanent uncertainty. It depresses investment and actively prevents the continent from matching the massive scale of international competitors. The European Union doesn't lack the capital or the policy ideas to compete. It is stuck in a structural time trap. To escape it, Europe needs an apolitical, election-proof agreement, a sacred alliance. Isolating industrial strategy from political volatility is exactly how the 20th century's most rapid economic expansions were built. In 1961, South Korea created the Economic Planning Board. It operated independently of the country's turbulent politics, surviving coups and transitions to deliberately engineer massive conglomerates like Samsung and Hyundai. That same year, Singapore established its Economic Development Board. By adhering to a consistent, uninterrupted plan, they turned a small island with zero natural resources into one of the wealthiest financial hubs on the planet. This model has already been proven in Europe. In 1946, France created the Commissariat au Plan under Jean Monnet to guide the nation's economic strategy entirely outside the standard political arena. That commission successfully orchestrated the Trente Glorieuses. They managed the physical reconstruction of the country and drove a 30-year economic boom that rapidly modernized French industry. The historical lesson is clear. Sustained economic dominance requires a nation to intentionally shield its industrial vision from the chaos of the ballot box. Applying this blueprint today means adopting a European strategic plan. This is a 10-point pact that commits the continent to fixed 10-year execution cycles. The European Union holds 33 trillion euros in private savings, but inside that massive block, 10 trillion euros sit completely dormant. The plan targets that capital, redirecting those low-yield bank deposits into a dedicated funding mechanism for European industrial expansion. But capital needs speed. The plan requires member states to abandon unanimous voting on these strategic issues, moving instead to qualified majority voting so that single-country vetoes can no longer paralyze progress. Externally, it mandates systematic reciprocity. Any global trade agreement must guarantee that European investments and standards are matched equally by foreign partners. Internally, it forces an end to fratricidal competition. Instead of 27 countries subsidizing 27 small national companies, the continent pools its resources to build a single, dominant Airbus-style champion for every vital sector. By combining that massive pool of dormant savings with fast, unified governance, Europe stops acting as 27 fragmented markets and begins operating as a single industrial superpower. You cannot rewire 27 distinct national economies into a unified system overnight. Point 10. The Benelux region acts as a laboratory to refine the strategy before it expands to the entire Union. This requires a new sovereignty. States keep internal control, but legally bind themselves to shared, unchangeable objectives. To ensure no one deviates, the alliance relies on strict annual public assessments, holding each government accountable to measurable performance indicators. By legally locking in a long-term strategy and unlocking its 33 trillion euro vault, Europe finally escapes the reactive 4-year political cycle. It stops undergoing the changes of the world and starts actively building its own.